Well, brothers and sisters, welcome back for another episode of Preparing for the Second Coming, a study of principles of application from the book of Revelation. We've talked about Christ's appearance to the world, and now we're going to do a quick review. So, big picture here. Remember, Adam is Christ's first appearance. Then, during a battle of Armageddon, during that time when the two prophets are killed, he will appear over there in Jerusalem. At that point, the celestial will be resurrected. So all the people that have died who are celestial will be resurrected. The living who are righteous will be caught up to meet him in the clouds. Christ will appear to the world. The wicked will be destroyed as the earth is cleansed. Satan will be bound, and the millennium will officially begin. It will last 1,000 years. Christ will make an appearance at the New Jerusalem at some point, and the celestial will return to the earth and enjoy that millennial peace. We'll then have the resurrection of the mortals who are going to the terrestrial kingdom, then those going to the telestial kingdom, and then finally the resurrection of the mortals who earned / deserved / achieved, I'm not sure what the right word is there, outer darkness. We will then have a great final battle. After, we will be assigned a degree of glory or outer darkness. Now, one key doctrine that's not in this timeline is the doctrine of, you've probably guessed it already, the final judgment. You see, Elder Oaks, he teaches that the resurrection is followed immediately by the final judgment. So as people are being resurrected along the way, before and during the millennium, they will receive their final judgment. And that's found April 2000 General Conference. His footnotes cite a bunch of different scriptures that support that doctrine, that the final judgment is just after the resurrection. So today, Revelation 20, the millennium. First things first, in Revelation chapter 20, we learn about the ultimate fate of Satan. In Revelation 20, and I love the wording of this chapter, it says this: I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid upon the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after, he must be loosed for a little season. So, Satan being bound. We're going to talk about the millennium today and that binding of Satan and what the millennium will look like. Just some true-false questions to review. True or false, we can speed up the second coming through righteous living. That, of course, is false. There's a day and a time appointed. He will come at the appointed time. It will not be ushered in prematurely because men turn to righteousness, nor will it be delayed because of iniquity. Second question, true or false? Christ will appear clothed in pure white, dazzling clothing at the second coming. That, of course, is false. He is wearing red on that occasion. Isaiah 63 and D&C 133. True or false? The telestial and terrestrial people will be burned. That, of course, is false. Only the telestial. As the earth is cleansed, again, they can't endure the brightness of his glory. They will not survive. True or false, we will be shocked at how wimpy Satan looks when we see him after the second coming. This is actually true. Isaiah 14 has a passage that I love. When we see him in the millennium, our response will be, art thou he that troubled the nations? Art thou he that caused all this trouble? Isaiah goes on and on about how shocked we will be. I wonder for you and me if we will be a little disappointed in ourselves that we listen to such a wimp and such a loser as Satan. Granted, he is powerful, he is effective, but in the end, when we see him, I wonder if we'll be shocked at just how unappealing he looks to us. True or false, the continents will come back together at the second coming. That, of course, is true. Pangea all over again. True or false, we will tell war stories to our children about what it was like in the old days when Satan was around. That is false. I'm paraphrasing Revelation 21, D&C 101, even Isaiah 65, verse 17, where it says that the new world is far superior, so much better to the old world. We won't even want to think back on the old world because the new world is so much better. True or false, at the beginning of the millennium, all people will join the church. That is false, and that's from Micah 4:5. Brigham Young taught there will be every sort of sect and party, every individual following what he supposes to be the best in religion, similar to what it is now. He goes on to say, men will have the privilege of being Presbyterians, Methodists, infidels, but every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus is the Christ. True or false? Language classes will be very popular during the millennium. That, of course, is false. There'll be one language, according to Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9, the Adamic language, the pure, undefiled, misunderstood. It's impossible to have a misunderstanding, as far as we can tell, in that Adamic language. It's pure, undefiled, no more miscommunications. I can't wait for that. True or false? All parents who lost babies to premature death will be able to raise their children. That, of course, is false. Why? It's not all parents. If parents are righteous, they'll have their children after the resurrection. Little children who die, whose parents are not worthy of an exaltation, will be adopted into the families of those who are worthy. And that's Joseph Fielding Smith, Doctrines of Salvation, if you want the reference on that statement. True or false? 100th birthday parties will be quite the party. That is true. At 100th birthday parties, people will be transformed, twinkled, whatever you want to call it, back into a prime state. That's from Isaiah 65, verse 20. We will not work or go to school during the millennium. That is a false statement. Isaiah 65 talks about a time of industry and growth. In fact, from our Institute student manual, crops will be planted, harvested, eaten, education fostered. Men will continue to care for their own needs and affairs. The advancement during the millennium will exceed anything that men have supposed. Wow, what a time. True or false? Physicians, beauticians, and morticians will all be unemployed during the millennium. This is true. Physicians, there's no more disease, no more illness. Beauticians, there's no more abnormalities. We're resurrected. Things are put back together the way they should be. Morticians, unemployed. There's no more death. True or false? Christ will be on the earth every day of the millennium. We think this is false. History of the church, the prophet Joseph teaches, they will not probably dwell upon this earth, but will visit it when they please or when it's necessary to govern it. Joseph Fielding Smith, those who have passed through the resurrection will not dwell with those in mortality. It sounds like there'll be some back and forth between those that have been resurrected. True or false? You'll be able to wrestle with a bear and he will not bite your head off. This is a true statement, again, based on Isaiah 65, verse 25, DNC 101, Isaiah 1. All talk about that there's no more enmity between man and beast. Sorry, that's Isaiah 11, not Isaiah 1. Isaiah 11, verses 6 through 9. True or false? You won't need a parachute to skydive during the millennium. This is true. According to Revelation 21 and 3 Nephi 28, remember, there's no more death. There's no more pain, no more sorrow. And I might take it too far. I don't know if we would be dumb enough to do that. But if we take it literally, there's no more death and pain. So we can do all kinds of things, like maybe jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. Okay, again, having some fun with the scriptures. True or false? Siri, Alexa, Google search, they will retire during the millennium. This is true. Why? I love the phrase in Isaiah 65:24. Before they ask or before they call, I will answer. It sounds like before we even can formulate the question, we receive our answer. Also, section 101 and section 130, I'll talk about how the earth will become a Urim and Thummim, how knowledge, intelligence will literally flow from the earth. All of our questions will be answered. And I'm grateful for that. Those of you that have questions that you can't seem to find a good answer to, guess what? They'll be answered during the millennium. I promise you that. True or false? We will do a lot of reading during the millennium. That is true. There are several records we don't have. The records of the lost tribes of Israel. We also have the sealed portion of the Book of Mormon. There's going to be a lot of reading to have during the millennium. True or false? All people will be vegetarians in the millennium. Well, sadly, this could be a true statement based on Isaiah 65 and the fact there's no more enmity. Also, Isaiah 65, verse 25. Elder McConkie, he wrote, man and all forms of life will be vegetarians in that coming day. The eating of meat will cease. And this is his logic. Because death ceases. There'll be no more shedding of blood because man and beast no longer have blood flowing in their veins. So, yeah, it sounds like we might be plant-based then. Or maybe there's food better than meat in the millennium. Better than bacon? Better than brisket? We'll have to see during the millennium. True or false? Satan will not be able to tempt during the millennium. This is a false and a true statement based on 1 Nephi 22:26. You see, the scriptures say that in that day Satan shall not have power to tempt any man. But they also say that because of the righteousness of his people, Satan has no power. So is it that he has no power to tempt, or because we're so righteous, his power has no effect upon us? I'm not sure. But we do know this. President George Buchanan, I think, said it best. He said, Satan will be bound by the power of God and bound also by the people of God not to listen to him. I love that. In fact, President Kimball said it very succinctly when he said, quote, when Satan is bound in a single home, when Satan is bound in a single life, the millennium has already begun in that home and in that life. In other words, my friends, you can have the millennium today if you want it. If you'll just stop listening to Satan and listen to Jesus more, the millennium has already begun for you. What a great doctrine. True or false? After Satan is loose for a short season at the end of the millennium, Michael and his hosts will destroy him forever. That is a true statement. That last battle, we'll talk about that more in a couple more lessons, but that final battle where Satan loses and Michael, who's Adam, will win. And the last one, ultimately, true or false, the earth will roll back toward Kolob. This could be a true statement. A quote from Brigham Young, this is not correlated, but he taught, the earth will abide its creation and will ultimately roll back into the presence of God who formed it and abide there forever and ever. So we'll roll back towards God's planet. An analogy. I love SportsCenter. My boys and I love to watch highlights. Every day they talk about the games from the previous day, but they love to set it up. They'll have the gloom and doom moment about the Warriors, for example, and how they can't hit a bucket, and it's a turnover. The coach gets a technical foul, and it looks like they're going to lose, and all of a sudden they say, but wait, and this player gets hot, and they hit all these three-pointers, and look at this, and they slam dunk, and they win. My boys and I sit very quietly watching the show because at the bottom of the SportsCenter screen, there's a little ticker, and it shows the scores. We've already seen the score. We know the outcome. And so we just like to watch the highlights. How did it play out? Brothers and sisters, the second coming is the same way. In a BYU devotional, Elder Holland said this, quote, the future of this world has long been declared. The final outcome between good and evil is already known. There's absolutely no question as to who wins because the victory has already been posted on the scoreboard. Then this. The only really strange thing in all of this is that we're still trying to decide which team's jersey we want to wear. I love that. Brothers and sisters, I hope you're wearing the right jersey. At Utah State University, where I teach, there's a chant that's become famous. The student body created it. It's called the winning team, losing team. At the end of a game, when it looks like we're going to win, the student section will say, is that not the winning team? And then the other half will reply, yes, that is the winning team. And then they'll say, is that not the losing team? And they'll point to the other team and they'll say, yes, that is the losing team. And then all of a sudden they break into this chant of winning team, losing team, winning team, losing team, back and forth. Brothers and sisters, I want, after this millennium, after our final judgment, winning team, I want you to be on that team. Every time you read scriptures, winning team. Every time you go to church, winning team. Every time you attend the temple or choose to forgive somebody, winning team. I testify you can be on that winning team by putting on that jersey of Jesus. I testify he's coming again. I hope you're getting ready for his return. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.